Hey everyone, and welcome to the I'll Take a Glass podcast. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Preston. No matter what's in it, grab a glass.
And let's do life together. What's up? We are back this week and we are excited. I am excited. I'm pretty much excited about every topic we have.
You're an excitable person. I love it.
But we're talking about predetermined roles in the house, within couples or families or whatever that looks like. And we're going to kind of go over some of the roles that we serve in our house and kind of how we've changed up the game a little bit. Because I think, back in the day, it was a little bit different than the way we do it now. So we're going to talk about that. So let's jump into it. Okay.
Cool.
So the first thing we're going to do is we have tried to think through a lot of the things that we do around the house.
Yep. And
I'm going to ask you, and then we'll see if we agree on who does what.
Essentially like a list of our common tasks, things that we do fairly often. If not every day, then at least weekly.
Okay. Yeah, true. Okay. So daycare prep.
We both do that.
Correct. I agree.
So that's just what is daycare prep? Define that for.
It takes about 30 minutes to prep for daycare. It does when you include your stuff. Why are you laughing at me? It does take 30 minutes.
It takes you 30 minutes, which is wild because literally 2 weeks ago, I was like, she always talks about this takes 25, 30 minutes. So I timed it and I was done in under 10 minutes doing daycare.
Including the dishes and stuff.
Yes.
No way.
It's not hard.
To unload and load the dishwasher takes forever.
Where it gets longer for you is you're breastfeeding. And so that...
We're just going to put my business out there.
How's that putting your business out there? I mean, or she's not. I'll leave that up for you to... You'll never know, audience. But you have to... there are things that requires of you that I can't do. I don't have to freeze milk and store it and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's going to add to your time. I'm giving you grace or space for that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But the getting everything out on the counter for the next day so that it flows smoothly in the morning, that does not take long at all.
Yeah, that part is fine. But then when you add in the dishes and all that.
What takes you long is you get anxious about the list. And you look at the same words over and over and over again. And how many times do you check to make sure, all right, Blakeland's water bottle's on the counter?
I don't even use the list anymore. No, I don't even use the list anymore.
Super cap.
No, I don't. But anyway, okay, moving on. Laundry. Who does it?
Me.
No, we're both. During football season, I wash and fold.
Okay, better question. Laundry. Who does it right? Who does it wrong?
Well, I hate doing the laundry. So You do it right. I do it to just get it done.
Right.
It's clean. You ain't got to worry about it.
Is it?
It is. Yes. Okay.
Sometimes.
Dishes. Dishes.
We both do dishes.
Yes, but I do it.
I'm not a big dishes person, but I can find enjoyment in having a task and completing the task. So a full sink. Now there are definitely things I'd rather do than dishes in terms of this conversation. Mm-hmm. I would rather daycare prep than dishes. I'd rather fold a load of clothes than do dishes, honestly. But
I just don't like unloading the dishwasher, but I'll load it.
Yeah,
okay.
Unloading it does.
Don't you lie about this one. Grocery shopping.
We both do.
No, that's a whole lot.
No.
You've grocery shopped once yes, it is. Preston, oh my goodness, I can feel my blood pressure going up right now. And I knew you're gonna lie about this because you ordered groceries one time for the first time 3 days ago in 2 years. No, sir.
Yes.
Since we've had kids and actually
I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves in this podcast, but you are going to talk about offloading.
I am.
And so without getting too far into detail on that, as of 2 weekends ago, we had a conversation. I would be doing grocery shopping once every other week. We'd essentially shift
That's a lie.
No,
the only reason,
not a lie. It's the truth.
The deal
Once again, I have never lied on this podcast.
The deal was that you were supposed to come up with dinner plans and put the ingredients that we needed for dinner in our shareable grocery list. and I would order it. The reason why you had to order it 3 days ago was because you forgot to put the stuff in there, and I basically looked at you and said, you missed the time frame, you're gonna have to order it. So that's why that happened. So that's not factual.
All right. So true or false?
False. One time in 2 years doesn't count.
Person to order.
No, sir. One time in 2 years doesn't count. I don't care what you say.
I'm asking.
It's invalid. It is invalid. Okay. Next question. Budget. Who does the budget?
We both do now,
Yes, we both do now.
as of somewhat recently.
Yeah.
That really has been you more than me for a long time, but we
Yeah.
both do it.
Okay. Repairs around the house.
Me solely.
For sure, you. I do not care to do that.
Yeah.
Bedtime process. That's like bathing the kids, getting what Leyland calls Mimi, and Blakelet, I guess. That's their milk. Who does that?
We both do.
Right.
Yeah. Usually whoever's not washing dishes is washing dishes.
True. Okay. Cooking.
We both do.
We both do, but I don't do breakfast. I can't stand
Yeah,
it.
she does not do breakfast. Not allowed to do breakfast, if we're being honest.
My breakfast isn't bad. It's not like yours and you're more passionate about it. I can care less. Like, I'd much rather be like, all right, kids, waffles and some microwavable bacon. Let's hit it. That's all. Because in the morning, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'm not a morning person. I need coffee. I need time to chill. I don't want to make breakfast. Like, I'm not passionate about it. Like, that's my deal. But okay, the moneymaker, who works,
We both work.
right? Which everybody knows that at this point.
I shake mine better, but
Oh Lord. Okay, landscaping.
ugh.
Neither.
I'm about to say I cut the grass. Is that what you're asking about?
Not really. I'm talking about like the flowers and stuff.
No, we don't plant flowers. You've done it before, but
And it was hard to
like
keep
I
them
cut the
alive.
grass and I like weed eat and stuff, but no, I don't do all the.
Neither do I. I can't. We keep kids alive in this house. We don't keep flowers alive or plants alive. We don't even order them or have them in the house.
And the next time we move and we get more into our forever home, I'm gonna look into turf in the back and front yard. I don't gotta mow nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. And
stays
then
green.
do what?
And it stays green.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But like the dog pooping on it and stuff,
We don't got a dog.
we don't anymore. But we're gonna get another one. That's for another podcast. That's for another day. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. Our roles in our house is very much so seasonal. So the way that we do it is during football season, I pretty much take on the majority of the tasks. And what we do stretches beyond this, but I pick up the kids during football season. We both do drop off, and that's a logistics thing.
Yeah.
But all the stuff around the house, like I do during football. During basketball, you pick up the kids. You do most of these tasks,
Right.
things like that. During track, I pick it up, vice versa, spring ball, all that good stuff. During the summer, we get to split it. So that helps us out a little bit.
Right.
But that at first was hard for me because I was very much so like, I'm independent. I can do it all by myself. I don't need help. And then when it comes to basketball season, I need help. Like I can't do it. So that was a hard thing for me to let go of at first. And there are people who are listening to this who probably have the same mindset. So the way that I kind of worked through it was through you, because basically I didn't have a choice. Like I got to the point where it's like, I don't have a choice. I need help. I need to be able to trust you to take on some of these tasks that I do on a pretty consistent basis, or that I feel like, or that society told me I should be doing, like washing dishes and all that other stuff. Which, by the way, I think is just at this point, like that's out the window. Like there's really no specific role. I feel like there should not be a role in the house to someone. I think you need to make it work for your family, whatever that looks like, or for your life, your lifestyle, your work, like whatever it is, like make it work for you and not so much of what everybody else thinks you should be doing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would just say that we are at a time period where, I mean, every house, like, operate whatever works best for your household. And so, like, it doesn't, like, I do think that it doesn't need to be a deal where, it doesn't have to be a deal where Like, you've got a husband that is gone and he works and he is the breadwinner, and you've got a stay-at-home mom that is, or wife that is at home, and she does just the daily things at home with the laundry and the cooking and dishes and all of that. Like, I think that whatever works for your house, like if you have the ability to have somebody stay at home, great. If you don't, great. If the wife is the breadwinner and she's gone to work, and guys, you're staying at home, great. Like, whatever works for your house, that is the most important thing. Is don't try to appease the worldly standard of, or the 1950s standard of, guys, you work, girls, you stay at home.
Right. I equate that to, we both said yes to this marriage. We both said yes to having kids. They all have our genetics, both of our genetics running through them. So we both have a responsibility to it.
Yeah.
We both said yes to moving in together and living in a house together. Right. So we both have a responsibility
and
to it.
I talked about my thought process and my passion behind this a couple episodes ago when I said, like, man, fellas, when y'all get home from work, like, the day is not over. Like, it is not time to sit on the recliner and everybody in your house leave you alone and you retire for the rest of the day. Like, that's not, in my opinion, that's not who we were created to be. How can I have influence over my house and raise my kids to be who I'd want them to be in the next generation if that's what I did in most of my time with them? It just wouldn't happen. And so I think that I try as hard as I can to really embrace an active role in our house, not just getting on the floor and playing and wrestling and all that. Like, I love doing that, and I do that every day, but even making dinner and dishes and laundry and all of that stuff.
Yeah. But I also work too, and that's kind of something. Right. So actually that's a pretty good segue. So a few weeks ago, I said, like, I needed to offload some stuff to you because there was a mental aspect of it. It was too much. Like, the mental load that I felt like I was carrying to take care of everything around the house and for the family. Just didn't feel like I could be my best self in doing that. And so I basically said, like, I'm to the point because I work too. It's not like I'm just like hanging out, right, and being lazy. But even working moms, stay-at-home moms, I know a lot of stay-at-home moms, and that is a job within itself. Like, there's actually research and studies that show that a working mom works a ton of hours, or a stay-at-home mom works a ton of hours. Like, so to me, at the end of the day, again, I think it comes back to this partnership aspect of it. But for a while, I think I just kept convincing myself, oh, well, he works more because of football, and so I have to do all this stuff. And for me, it's like, I finally came to the realization, like, no, this is, again, a partnership. The first thing I had to do was ask for help and the recognition that I needed help. And then when I was able to do that, that's when we got to the offloading point. So we're going to talk about the offloading. I think this is this was a big step for me mentally. There were some things where I was doing all the time. Like, I was always thinking through dinner, ordering groceries for it, thinking through the family calendar and logistics and doing the budget. And for me, I was like, okay, well, I'm passionate. Like, I love planning and doing stuff. And like, that's an area of strength for me. Like, that is something I enjoy doing, is the planning and all of that, which I was still fine to do. But ultimately I was like, I need help with the actual plan too. Like, I can put it on the calendar, I need help. Or like Blakeland's academic activities during the summer, coming up with the sensory activities that we do for the kids. The dates, that was another thing. And I think you helped change my perspective on that, because at first I was like, well, you should be coming up with all the dates. But at the end of the day, I don't think you should have, now that I think about it. So we have started where now we alternate months on who plans the date, who finds the sitter. We started doing that. We alternate who plans dinner for each week. We alternate who plans the academic activities each week.
Right.
Those things like that. Logistics wise, like on who picks up the kids and all that, depends on our crazy schedules.
Right.
Yeah. But since offloading it, I think at first I used to be like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to see if he remembers, which was pretty much a trap. But now,
Oh man, it wasn't no pretty much nothing.
but now I'm like, okay, I'm going to remind him until it becomes I'm going to find ways to remind you. So either I'm going to tell you, I started doing it on our Google Calendar. I share it with you. It's up on the calendar on the fridge to help you remember it. And then hope, like, as it becomes more of a habit, then I think it flows smoother. But since doing that has helped a ton. Something else we offload is cleaning in general. Like, we pay somebody to clean our house, and that was to the point where I was like, we have 3 kids. I'm gone all the time. I don't want to spend the little time I have at home cleaning the house, which takes me 4 hours to do by myself, because you have to watch the kids, right? Because we got to keep them out of the way. So that's a way we offload it, is
Right.
outsourcing it. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, mowing the lawn, we outsource it for the most part, but
Yeah. I've recently started doing it. We moved recently. The yard's a lot smaller. I
Yeah.
get that done pretty quickly. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. No, as soon as she brought that to me and we had that conversation, I was totally on board. I felt like it needed to happen. And like Taylor said, I mean, this is a partnership. I mean, we signed up to be 100% together. And so whether that is seasons where, like basketball season for her, where it looks like she's a little closer to 30% and I'm 70% around the house, like then that's what it takes for our house. And when football season, where it's a lot more like I'm 10% and she's 90% around the house, that's what it looks like for our house. And so together we are 100%. And so how we navigate tough seasons, how we navigate the seasons where, like in summer, almost every evening we're able to be home. And so our evening process, which is where a lot of our process comes into play, is a little easier. And so it's a lot easier to be 50-50. And so, but it prepares us, because summer goes straight into football season, which then becomes our hardest season of the year. And so as soon as she mentioned that to me, I was totally on board with it. And I fully believe that as the man in our house, that is my responsibility as well.
yeah. So ladies, don't trap him. Just try to give him some reminders, because you're going to need some gentle reminders for
Right.
in the beginning.
So, for instance, and she mentioned this earlier, for like the first time in years, I was responsible for coming up with like meals for a week, in terms of like a dinner. Like, what are we going to eat this week for dinner every night when we order groceries, so that we can have it and all that stuff, right? I hadn't done that in a long time, maybe since before we had kids. And so that is all of a sudden new. And in the moment that we had talked about that, it's not like I could go, okay, let me figure out these dinners right in this moment. Like, this was a conversation that we were having that was like kind of on the move in a sense. And so it's not like I could go sit right down at the calendar and laptop and all that and kind of coordinate meals for the week. So then, like, if it's not something that I've done for so long, obviously it's not on the forefront of my mind to get this done. I haven't had to think about it until essentially now. And so, like, having those reminders was very helpful, because there have been times in the past that you've waited to see, all right, are you going to get this done on your own? I've already told you once. And it's like, okay, yeah, but it's not, yes, I should remember. And I'm sorry that I don't, but it's not something that I've had to remember. And so it's going to take me some getting used to, in a sense. And so,
Right. But part of me came from a perspective of, if he really cares about me and is thinking about me, he'll remember to do it. And I think I had to realize that it's not that you're not thinking about me or that you don't care. It is like you saying yes to it in the first place shows that you care and you want to help. I think when I had to change my perspective and mindset on that, and just say, and I did get to the point where, okay, fine, I'll do it myself. The whole situation with the groceries, it was like, I'll still order it. You just got to add it. But I got to a point where I was like, I needed to order it at a specific time because our schedule was so packed. And I was like, because I was working camp, It's like, all right, well, now you got to order it because it wasn't on there and I can't at this point. And you took it and you said, all right, I'll do it. You did a pretty good job too. So,
Wow.
what?
Pretty good. I felt like we ate phenomenal this past week.
Yeah, no, you did good, but yeah, it was good. I'll give you that. But just being able to offload those tasks and asking for help, like being willing to ask for help, offloading the task, even if it's outsourcing it, and then being okay with how it's done. So that's the next thing, is some tips to add to this. Spice it up, add some music.
If the kids aren't home, be in your house naked. What?
No, that's not the direction I was going, but sure.
Oh, you said spice it up. No, all seriousness, do that. But no, just some of the
Like do
things
that as in do it naked?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that it's like marriage 101. Like you need to be naked around each other as much as possible.
Whoa, this is supposed to be a PG podcast. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm not saying never mind. Anyway, but just some of the things that we do, like we both talked about as we were working through the list earlier, there are things that we like and don't like. Dishes being one of those for me. Well, if I'm doing dishes and I already know, like, all right, this is one of the tasks that I dread, but I need to get it done. I want to serve my wife and I want to serve my house, so I'm going to get it done. Like, I'm going to tell Alexa to play something, right? And so that's just one of the ways that it makes those kind of tasks a little more enjoyable, or a little more mindless, where now I am singing whatever is playing, versus thinking about, holy smokes, like I've only cleaned 3 dishes and it's still overflowing. You know?
Yeah. I also think too, like coming to an agreement on who does what or what that looks like for you, and establishing that from the beginning, but 2, also playing into your strengths as well, or your things you're passionate about. That helps. Like, I think about it from a coaching perspective and a staff, like there are going to be times you have to do things that you're not passionate about or that you don't want to do. But there are also a lot of elements where you want to utilize the people around you and their strengths and the things that they enjoy doing because they're going to do it better. And so just coming up with the balance in that regard too.
I eat breakfast.
Yes, breakfast, because that is still not something I'm passionate about. Probably never will be, but that's all right. And then the other thing is, don't complain about how the other person does the task if they do it. So sometimes you'll load the dishwasher and I rearrange it just to help fit stuff in, but I try not to say anything to you about it and just be appreciative of the fact that you did it anyway. So try not to complain about the way it's done. This is still a work in progress for me.
I'm going to complain about the laundry every time, so.
You shouldn't. That's the part of the tip. That's the lesson. So you need to take our own tips. Mine is the organization side of it. Like, I need things to be back where they were organized to be because they're labeled. Everything is color coded and labeled. So it's got to go back there so I can find it when I return. So that's the biggest thing. If y'all can't tell, I'm passionate about this one. But okay, so just addressing the single parents or the couples who don't have kids. One suggestion I have for that is use friends. Like, again, it comes back to being okay asking for help and realizing that you're not supposed to do this alone anyway. Like, you are not I don't believe that parenthood was meant to be done alone. Like, I think there's an element to it. Not. Right. And so it is okay to ask for help, and it's okay to feel like you can't do it by yourself because you were never meant to. Like, you're not supposed to, right? So using friends around you. If you have older kids, using the older kids to help you out around the house, which we will do even as a couple. Like, when our kids get older, they're going to have to learn how to do their laundry and dishes because we're helping prepare them for life too. So I'm just not going to do it for them for the rest of their life. And then include them when you can. Sometimes when we need help, like cleaning up, we do games and stuff because we have smaller kids to help make it fun. That's why we spice it up for them. And then another thing is prioritizing tasks, especially if you're having to do it by yourself. I struggle with this because to me, it's like, oh, well, everything seems like high priority, but it's really not. And so I have to prioritize my tasks. I will say laundry has fallen at the very bottom. Like, we sit with baskets of laundry in our house all the time. It's clean, but it's unfolded.
Full transparency.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really think about how many we watch, what, on average 10 loads every weekend, if not more. And like, so folding that is, yeah. And our kids can't fold it. They can't put it up. Like, so it's just going to sit here. It's clean. At least they don't stink. That's, that's a win for me.
Clean and wrinkled.
There we go. And you can throw an ice cube and a shirt in the dryer and get it working that way. And that's where I'm at with it. So prioritize your task and then establish routines. I think routines have helped us a ton in our house, even just with having kids, but just establishing a routine as best as you possibly can. Those routines are going to look different with your schedules and things like that. But a way to establish that routine is, again, talking about it. And couples without kids, the same thing. Just having these discussions with each other, understanding that you're going to have to serve in a way you might not want to, but also allowing each other to kind of do things that they enjoy. So coming up with the plan and routine for that. So, okay. Closing thoughts. What you got?
Biggest thing is essentially it's a positionless household.
Yeah, I like that.
In my mind. Like,
That's
there's
good.
no hierarchy. There's no, like, you're supposed to do this. No, you're supposed to do this. Like, it's a team. And I think that very early on in our relationship, we approached it that way, as like we are a team, and we continue to approach it that way. And so I think under that mindset, it makes our life a lot easier, and it feels a lot more natural.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. All right. Share with us what unlikely role switch, if you will, if that's how you want to phrase it, that you have developed in your relationship or in your house. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode. Thanks again for joining us. We will see you next week.
Peace.
That's it for our show today. Thanks for listening. Be sure to leave us a review and share this episode with a friend. Tune in next week for more fun and connection. In the meantime, don't forget to visit our website, view our blog, and connect with us on social media throughout the week. Don't forget to fill your glass this week. Share this episode with a friend and invite them to have a glass with us. We can't wait to hang out with you again. This episode is brought to you by Rambo Media. Thanks for tuning in.